You remember when Musalia Mudavadi stood on a podium and confidently declared that no African president has ever lost a bid for a second term, all in defense of William Ruto's 2027 re-election.
I've been telling people it's usually very difficult on African soil to defeat a president who is looking for his second term.
Well, Malawi just tore that script apart. On September 19, 2025, President Lazarus Chakwera was staring down a political nightmare. The ballots from Malawi's general elections held 3 days earlier showed him trailing badly behind his political rival, none other than 85-year-old former President Peter Mutharika.
Chakwera.
The numbers spoke loud. Mutharika at about 62%, Chakwera clinging to 34%. In Zomba district, a stronghold of 9 constituency for Chakwera, he barely scrapped 5,600 votes out of over 236,000 votes. A humiliating defeat in his own backyard. Now, why should Kenyans care? Because Chakwera isn't just another African president. He is a close ally of President Ruto of Kenya, and his fall is being read as a warning shot fired straight at Nairobi.
So mutiani ya maendeleo, mimi siwezi anguka. Pengine mutiani ingine.
Kenyans on Twitter wasted no time. The hashtags lit up, mocking Musalia Mudavadi's prophecy and drawing parallels between Chakwera's collapse and Ruto's precarious promises. They called it a reminder that incumbency isn't magic and re-election isn't automatic.
So between the three front runners, if there is anybody who, in my view, would give Lazarus Chakwera a run for his money, it would be Mutharika, because Mutharika at least had a stable record and he at least Malawians resonate with what he did.
The similarities are striking. Chakwera, an evangelist by calling, sold himself as Malawi's God-chosen savior.
And one day, God spoke to my heart. And God was not saying, I'm pulling you out of ministry. God was saying, I'm extending your ministry so that you are able to pastor a whole nation. I said, how is that possible? And then he began to talk to me about how he had chosen Israel to be a nation that would be an example of a relationship between God and his people. Then God was saying, I want you to get in, and I want you to get involved.
Ruto too leaned heavily on faith imagery, seen praying, preaching, even crying at church functions, earning the King David tag from some of his followers.
The 5th President of the Republic of Kenya, William Samoei Ruto. Nasikia raha. This guy bana, atachapa kazi. Ngojeni muone Mungu akifanya kazi. Ngojeni muone. It is God that has put him there. God will sustain him there, and I know God will guide him to make sure he gives us a better country, a better Kenya, a better country. Wait and see. I'm so happy. I'm so elated. It's William Samoei Ruto.
Both leaders wrapped their campaigns in divine destiny, and both promised the world.
Last year, when I hosted Malawi's first ever anti-corruption conference, I declared war on corruption and embarked on a vigorous campaign against it.
Chakwera pledged 1 million jobs in his first year and a war on corruption. Years later, the jobs never came. Corruption thrived, and Malawians decided they had had enough. President Ruto on his side dangled diapers for new mothers, 1 million jobs every year, and a bottom-up economic miracle.
I commit to provide mothers of newborn babies with diapers for their children for a minimum of 3 months paid for by the government of Kenya.
Next year, tunaweka pesa ya serikali bilioni 100 as priority number 1 in projects and programs that will ensure that 4 million of our young people get engaged in meaningful employment.
3 years later, Kenyans are still waiting. Protests are multiplying and faith in his word is shrinking.
There are Kenyans who watch you, Your Excellency, and I don't know whether you are aware that they don't trust what you say. They don't believe what you say. Are you aware, Your Excellency, for example, that a lot of Kenyans increasingly don't associate the truth with you?
That is your assessment because you have never associated the truth with me from the beginning.
No, there's quite a number of Kenyans.
No, I mean, that is your assessment.
We asked people before we came here
That's the assessment.
Yeah.
and many of those that responded to me directly and to even our platforms on KTN News, on Spice FM, on NTV, on Citizen, and we were asking them, what question should we ask the president this evening? And the one thing that many of them were saying is, when will he stop lying? So it's not Linus.
Can he tell us the truth this time?
Let me say the following.
Yet, despite the growing unrest, Ruto's camp continues to thump its chest. Allies brand critics as enemies of progress and warn that his re-election is inevitable.
Alafu washenzi wengine wanasema ati Kasongo, Ruto must go. Kumba nina zenu hao ambao wanasema hivyo. Kwani amekaa kwa kiti ya mama yako ama baba yako? Amekaa kwa kiti yetu sisi na tutamchagua, tutamrudisha with 99% from the Eastern province, hapa Eastern wafugaji wote, na nyinyi mtaniahidi mtanipa mimi 99% ama 100%. Mtanipa ngapi? Mtanipa ngapi? Mheshimiwa Rais,
tutajaza, usijali, kura itajaa. Sitajaa. Tunaenda Ukambani tumeomba, tunaenda wapi tunaomba, tunaenda kila mahali tunaomba. Wale watatupigia na tukiona kidogo haijai tunaomba ya kujaza, yani lazima ijae.
Because according to Musalia Mudavadi's logic, Africa presidents don't leave after one term.
So, to defeat an incumbent who's looking for his second term is something else. I've been telling people it's usually very difficult on African soil to defeat a president who is looking for his second term. And I want to give you a chronology. Shall I give you a chronology? Are you ready to walk with me on this journey?
But Chakwera just did it. And that's why many Kenyans believe the writing is on the wall. If Malawi could humble its president, Kenya could do the same. To them, it is no longer a question of if, it is when.